Okay, so last about array lists. If you don't remember that, go back and watch it. I know it's been a little while since I made a video, but I went on vacation and had some stuff to do. So, if you remember 2 tutorials ago, I talked about your constructor and this. So, if you don't remember how that worked, I'd go back and watch it. But I'm just gonna show you it again. Yeah, so Fred F equals new Fred, and then you have to put the parameters in here. So Billy, and if you don't remember how any of that works, then go back and watch the video, my constructors video. If you don't remember this, you have to say what kind of object it is, then have to name it. So Fred dot say hi, or a Fred object dot say hi. So we did all this in my constructors video, hi Billy Joe. But let's say you want to put Mr/Mrs. instead. So let's say what happens if the user only wants to enter their last name, so Joe. Well, what you can do is you can have, this isn't necessarily the best way of going about it. There is a better way, but when you have a small number of parameters, this is one of the best ways to do it. Now, once you get to like more than 4 parameters, there's another way, and I may teach that later if it's necessary, though I kind of doubt it. But yes, so what you can do if they only want to enter their last name, then you can actually have a second constructor for that. And then we still want to do all of this. So the way we do that is we type this, and then we're going to type Mr/Mrs. and then last. So what this is doing is when we create our Fred object with only the last name, then it's going to take your last name. Basically, this is that. It's doing that when we say this. So it's setting the first name to Mr/Mrs. and last name is whatever the last name the user entered. So this might make more sense if you run it like this. Hi Mr/Mrs. Joe. And that's the result I was aiming for. Now if you don't do this, actually no, that if you didn't do this, actually no, don't even worry about that. If you didn't do this, it would be a bit more confusing. But so yeah, that's how you use multiple constructors. Now you're not limited to even 2. If you want to include their middle name, so let's just say we'll have a third one. Public Fred string first string middle string last. And we'll create a private string middle name. So then what we're going to do is inside of this we're going to add another plus. So after this we're going to put plus middle name plus then another space. Okay, so now we can just even get rid of this, and we can do this first, and then if they don't enter a middle name, then we'll just have a default middle name of, we're just going to leave it blank. So we're going to have an extra space between our first and last name if there's no middle name, and of course there's a go to avoid that, but I'm just trying to show the example here, so we're just gonna put empty quotations and last. So then if we run this, hi, yeah, that didn't work. Oh right, that's why, because I didn't actually do anything up here. First, last name equals last, middle name equals middle. So I spelled first wrong. Okay, now if we run this, it's gonna work. But you can see there's an extra space here because we didn't have a middle name. So actually I think for better example, I'm still gonna call it say hi, but I'm just gonna change what it does. I don't feel like retyping the name though, because it's just more work. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do first name plus first name. So we're just basically gonna be printing out the first name, their middle name, and the last name. Middle name and let's actually change this to first. So we'll leave this blank this time. So the way this is going to work is you can either just enter your first name, or you can enter your first and last name, or you can enter your first, middle, and last name. So what we can do is if we only enter the first name, now only the first name is Joe. The first name is Joe, so we get Joe, then the middle name is blank, and the last name is blank. But if we didn't do this, so you may think, oh, why do we need this then? Can't we just leave these out and just have first name set to first down here? Well, the reason that doesn't work is because then you get null. So you still have to set it to blank. Like, if you don't set it to anything, then you have a null, and null looks weird. So, there, back to that. But now, if you enter a last name too, so Joe, and then Thompson, then we get first name Joe, middle name is still unknown, and the last name is Thompson, which I spelled oddly. Probably I just typed it in. But now let's say their middle name is, I don't know, Axel. I don't know why. Joe Axel Thompson. So now you can see first name Joe, middle name Axel, last name Thompson. And that's because it did this. As where without, so it had your first name, your middle name, and your last name. And then this, Joe Thompson, did this, where the first name is blank, or the first name is Joe, the last name is Thompson, and then the middle name is blank. And this one, when you just enter the first name, then you just get Joe. And also, I should probably put spaces in between these just so that it looks nicer. Yeah. Okay, so then when you just do this, it passes in blank as your last name, so this is still blank. So that means both of these are blank, and you get your first, last, and middle. So that's going to be the end of this tutorial. If you like it, then like the video. If you want to see more, subscribe to my channel. If you ask for what you want me to cover next, then leave a comment on that. If I didn't explain anything too well, then also leave a comment on that and I'll go over it again as soon as I can. And thanks for watching.